Hey guys, this is Jamie out at the farm. Today we're going to talk about something that I've had a lot of questions about at the farmer's market and at different places where they see my hat or my logo or our farm name. Where did you come up with Seven Stands Farms? So today I'm going to take you back in time a little bit. It's been about 15 years since we came up with that name. It actually came from my son Luke when he was about 8 years old. It started out as Seven Stands Bee Farm, and now it's Seven Stands Farm, and I'll explain to you how we came up with that. So about 15 years ago, me and Dad were dabbling in bees and had taken some classes and started to work on raising queens and sell bees. We saw there was a niche and a need for that. We were trying to come up with a name, and we wanted to call it something Bee Farm. So today, while we're talking about this story, we're going to be adding some tops to some of our hives. It's getting to be sourwood honey time here in the south.
Really?
Yeah. So what we're doing today is we're putting honey supers, and we use deep hives for honey supers. But I was telling them about the story of how we came up with our name, Dad.
Oh, okay.
And I was telling them that it's been about 15 years, I think now, that we had been dabbling, just messing in bees a little bit. You probably had 15 hives, and I think I had 7 at home. We had maybe 20 or 30 hives between the both of us. And remember, we were trying to figure out what we were going to call it. I'll go get those other frames. So we were trying to decide what we were going to name this bee farm. So we were hot and sweaty. We'd been working all day in the bees, and of course, like everybody else is trying to come up with a business name or something like that, we'd been kicking stuff around all day and nothing at all really. So like everybody else, we were kicking all these names around and nothing at all sounded good. Nothing we'd come up with seemed to work good at all. We just didn't like it. So we were kind of perplexed as what to do. The day was over, we were finished, and we were just sitting around waiting. Like I said, we had finished working in the bees. We were all hot, all aggravated because we couldn't come up with a name. And so we were standing in my driveway talking about names, and my son was there, Luke. And you have to remember, this is 15 years ago, and he was 8 years old in like second grade or something or another. And he just looks at us and says, hey, call it 7 Stands Farm, Dad, because you have 7 stands. And here in North Carolina, or here in Wilkes County, this hive, we slang for it as a stand. So you got 50 stands or 50 hives, it's kind of interchangeable. And down in my little bee yard I had at that time, I had 7 hives or 7 stands of bees. So it just clicked, and we looked at each other and said, that's perfect. Just kind of giggled and laughed and said, out of the mouth of babes comes the truth, you know. So we've been 7 Stands Bee Farm, and we was that for several years, and then we got into goats together, and we have pigs, and I have a few chickens. So now we've dropped the bee, and we're just 7 Stands Farm, and it all come from my son about 15 years ago, who just logically in his mind said, hey, you have 7 stands of bees, so call it 7 Stands Bee Farm. So that's how the name came about. That's where it came from. A lot of people have been asking, and I thought it'd be a good video to kind of explain what it is and how we came up with it. So guys, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy these videos. We appreciate all your support so far. Go down, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Leave us a comment, tell me what you think about the name and how it came about. As always guys, thanks for watching, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.